So the summit was very important in that it gave African countries an opportunity to present a united front. So the outcomes that bordered on climate finance were the most important, both at the African Climate Summit and at COP28. One key aspect of the outcome was the agreement to begin the operationalizing of the Loss and Damage Fund, which is a fund that is set aside to help developing countries cope with the disasters of climate-related nature. Hello, my name is Olumide Ajayi. I'm the Director of Operations at CarePay Nigeria, and I am an Africa Climate Ambassador 2024. At CarePay Nigeria, we work to give access to affordable and quality healthcare through innovative products, which is backed by our proprietary technology. I became interested in climate change just by observation. You look around you, you see the disasters that happen because of the climate change issues and because we haven't simply taken care of our environment as we should. Additionally, over the years, you see temperatures rising, especially in a place like Lagos, Nigeria. It's becoming hotter and hotter every year. So that would just make one pay attention to what the issues are and get involved in the conversations about climate change. The Africa Climate Summit that held in Nairobi in 2023 was the fulfillment of a call from previous years for African countries, African member states, to hold such a summit. Was delayed a bit, but then eventually held last year. So the summit was very important in that it gave African countries an opportunity to present a united front as COP28 was approaching. There was also a unification of African voices, and it presented an opportunity for people who have, the countries that have taken actionable steps to compare notes and also share learnings from the solutions, the innovative solutions that they've implemented. COP is an acronym for Conference of Parties. It's the decision-making body of the United Nations Framework Conference on Climate Change. Member states of COP, those states that have decided or put pen to paper to be bound by the provisions of the framework. So it holds every year, unless it's otherwise decided by the members not to hold. The key outcomes of the summit are those that are around climate finance. We see that on the African continent, finance and the proper application of it has been the problem with the development of climate-friendly development on the African continent. So the outcomes that bordered on climate finance were the most important, both at the African Climate Summit and at COP28. I would highlight the climate finance issues. One key aspect of the outcome was the agreement to begin the operationalizing of the Loss and Damage Fund, which is a fund that is set aside to help developing countries cope with the disasters of climate-related nature. So that will go a long way to help African countries because, as the data shows, even though Africa does not emit as much as the developed nations, but then we suffer way more consequences of climate-related issues than the rest of the world. I would definitely say yes, that it did. The stage at which Africa is, every conversation helps. We need to speak more about this. We need to create awareness about the issues that we are facing. But I'd also add that the gains and the traction from these gatherings can be better consolidated if the commitments that were made are met. If the financial commitments are met, and if the commitments of member nations to pay more attention to climate-related issues, if those commitments are also met, then it'll be more worth it than just talking about it. That statement is very true. I see that statement as a double-edged sword swinging on a rope, perhaps. And the work for Africa is to ensure that it swings more towards the direction of opportunities than the challenges that we're faced with. For example, Africa's large renewable energy potentials are largely untapped, as well as most of its arable land are uncultivated. Yet the African continent faces risks and challenges from food insecurity as well as shortage in energy sources. So yes, there are challenges and there are opportunities for Africa, but we need to ensure that we swing towards the opportunities that are before us. The import of that is that it draws focus to healthcare. And healthcare must be seen as the ultimate impact of climate-related issues. Because eventually, when we feel the negative impact of climate change, it impacts the health of the people. And that should be a key focus for climate-related discussions, not just across the continent, but globally. It is vital that we begin to see the impact of climate change as a people-centered problem, in that climate issues and the negative impact of it ultimately affect the people and their health. So there are certain sectors that engender very good health practices. So with focus on these sectors, it can go a long way to reduce the impact of climate-related disasters if and when they occur. Sectors like food and agriculture, sectors like water, urban planning, and of course transportation for the mobility of drugs, services, and of course people to seek the healthcare that they deserve. It's important because climate change and healthcare are closely related, because an issue in climate change also results in an issue in healthcare and vice versa. So it's important that at the point where climate-related policies are being formulated, healthcare is designed at the very beginning. And also on the other side, when healthcare systems are being improved, when healthcare systems are being planned, they ensure that there's sustainability designed into the process. Organizations like WHO have taken steps to create some sort of framework that helps member nations think this through, and also bring them together to discuss healthcare matters that are also climate-related issues. I think Africa is in a unique position to do things right. We're in a unique situation where we can start right because of the level of development that we have attained. We haven't gone as far as other parts of the world. So we can start with sustainability. We can start with climate-friendly development. We can start green and grow from there. So my message to leaders would be, this is an opportunity to do things right. In fact, it's an opportunity to get ahead.